Hey guys, I'm Rachel Cruze.
I'm George Kamel.
And this is
Smart Money Happy Hour.
Shoot.
I spilled for the very first time in Smart Money Happy Hour history.
Drink.
I was just excited. It was just an aggressive clink.
He's so excited because this is the show where two friends who happen to be money experts talk about what you're talking about. Pop culture, current events, and money.
Is that what the people are talking about? Who knew?
Decorate. You spilled half your drink, George.
That's a shame because it's a good one today, Rachel.
Oh, man. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the price tag of the top 10 events that happened in 2022.
Ooh.
Pop culture moments. We are here to look back.
The hottest pop culture moments of 2022.
That's right. Okay.
I didn't get to watch MTV growing up, but I feel like this would have been like an episode.
You didn't?
Of something.
Oh.
I would sneak it when I was at grandma's. Like she had cable, we didn't.
Rebel.
So when I was at grandma's, and if someone came through the door, I'd change the channel real quick.
So fast. But I love countdowns. I love looking back on a year. ABC does this too, like the top big moments. So we're going to do it from the money perspective.
Also, parents, my parents, if you're listening, that never happened. I just realized my mom's a big fan of the show, and she just found that out for the first time.
You should have confession night. We did that at Mom and Dad's lake house probably 8 years ago.
What?
One night after dinner, we were all hanging out.
Just confessing things
and we
from
all
your childhood?
Yes.
Like I snuck out of the house that one night
100%.
where I told you I was going to Stacy's.
We did. We told them everything. It was so funny.
That could be a new segment on the show.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
Where me and Rachel confess things that happened 25 years ago.
So what drink do we have today, George?
Today is a classic daiquiri. And I have a fun fact for you. Now, you've heard of a strawberry daiquiri.
Sure.
This is a classic daiquiri, which I think is way better. It has some light rum, some Demerara sugar syrup, and fresh squeezed lime. And here's a fun fact from our mixologist, Michael Reddish. He said, while most vintage drinks lack documentation providing their precise point of creation, the daiquiri's origin is backed up by an actual cocktail recipe card signed by Jennings Cox in 1896.
1890? No way.
This is a truly vintage cocktail, and I would say a delicious one.
Sophisticated. We're going back in time.
There we
with
go.
our drink and going back in time, looking at 2022.
All right. Let's take a very short walk down memory lane. That was a lot sooner. It was 2022. It was like yesterday.
I'll start us off.
All right.
Topic number 1, 2022. It was the year of Mr. Harry Styles.
We stan Harry.
He had a big year. So according to Spotify Wrapped 2022 data, his album was the second most streamed album globally.
Wow.
He lost to Bad Bunny in spot 1.
I've never heard of Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny has no place in my heart or my top
have zero.
artists.
I don't know either. I really don't. But his single, As It Was, it's one of my favorites, was the number 1 most streamed song. I contributed to that stat, George.
Can I be honest? I feel like I'm so basic right now because Harry was my number 1 on Spotify Wrapped, and As It Was my number 1 song played.
George.
And I was like, am I a 17-year-old girl?
It's
what is
so
wrong? Is this normal?
Good, though.
Is it normal for a 33-year-old man to have those stats? That's my question.
I think it is because I think it's common. It's common, obviously. It's the number 1. You're just on trend.
Common doesn't make it okay.
You're on trend.
Okay. Will you sing a little bit of As It Was for us since it's your favorite?
No. I need another daiquiri in me before I do that.
It doesn't take much.
I can't. You're gonna have to.
Lindsay, sing it with me.
George should.
Y'all go together.
No,
Lindsay's an amazing
I get
producer.
too nervous. Yeah,
Lindsay has a fantastic
small
voice.
Groups,
oh
small
my
groups.
gosh. Okay, fine.
Holding me back.
Oh,
Gravity's holding me back.
Yes.
I want. That's all you get.
Oh,
You know it's not the same as it was.
Cheers. That was great, George. Thank you for that. Harry,
the people
If
appreciate
we
it.
ever do Smart Money Happy Hour karaoke live with an audience, I will be
we'll
doing
sing that
song.
together. That's great. I love that.
Did I just make that up? That's a great idea.
I love
That's
that
a
idea.
killer idea. A VIP experience.
Okay, so Harry, he was on tour, Love on Tour 2022, sold out 42 shows, and he made $2.25 million per performance during the tour. And that also extended the tour to Asia. I mean, he
would
was
too.
killing
If
it.
I was getting paid $2.25 million.
I wouldn't be mad to sing another 90 minutes somewhere
Wow.
else. I know. And then he started his relationship with Olivia Wilde, which I was a little sad about.
I know. There's some drama there.
Gosh, I just think about, Ted Lasso.
Well, before they broke up, he starred in her movie that she directed called Don't Worry, Darling, which dropped in September of 22.
What, are they broken up?
Yeah.
Rachel.
Oh, they are. Oh, I
I
don't.
can't
Rachel,
keep
I
you up
thought-
with all the
yeah.
trends.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize. Okay. Maybe her and Jason will still get back together.
I doubt it.
I just love Jason Sudeikis.
Me too.
How do I say his last name?
I think that's it.
Sudeikis.
I just call him Ted.
Well,
just call him
more
Ted.
importantly, the Rotten Tomatoes score, which is what I check for every movie
Oh
I've
my
ever watched, had a 38% from the critics. Not great. But a 74% from the audience. And here's a fun fact that I Googled for you, Rachel. The movie had a budget of $35 million, and it made $83 million. And so they had a profit of $48 million.
Oh, good for them.
Despite the critics not liking it.
The critics.
So the
I don't know.
Harry
I never
fans,
saw it.
They showed up.
There you go. So, Harry, you did well, my friends.
What a financial year for Harry.
All right, number 2. My money don't jiggle jiggle.
Louis Theroux.
This was a trend. I saw it. And I'm glad I saw it because it went viral with 70 million global streams. So he was a
You saw this if you were on TikTok, and if you're on Instagram Reels, you saw it 4 weeks later,
I
but
know.
still judged everyone who saw it on TikTok. So there's some
That was
shade.
me. That was
There's
me.
some shade there.
okay. So he's a British American journalist, broadcaster, and author, and not really known for rapping until this year. So the story goes. I'll let you pick this up, George. while I
Okay,
sip my
so
daiquiri.
in 2000, because I've studied this in depth, because I also am an aspiring rapper. In 2000, he was filming season 3 finale of his TV documentary series, Thoreau's Weird Weekends. And so in that episode, he tried his hand at rapping. Jiggle Jiggle was the result. Now that was 2000, right? Well, in 2022, he hung out with a YouTuber named Amelia de Moldenberg.
wow,
de
great
Moldenberg?
job. See, that's phonics right there.
Amelia de Moldenberg on her web series called Chicken Shop Date. She asked about his rapping, and so he pulled this out of the vault, and it went viral on TikTok. They auto-tuned it, and it just exploded. And there's no numbers on how much money the song has generated, but let's say that Louis and the collaborators probably got a nice, unexpected chunk of change.
I mean, that is so funny. It's a funny video.
It is because it's like a middle-aged white guy,
My
like
money don't
half-heartedly
jiggle, jiggle.
rapping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what makes it funnier is that he's just kind of like recanting the rap. He's not really
know.
putting much effort into it.
So
But
some
it's
good learning.
catchy.
It's so catchy. So if you were Louis and you had this influx of cash,
Yeah.
right? So some people this coming year, maybe you start a business and it kind of, I was going to say it goes zoom, zoom. Oh, I hate that phrase.
no.
Why was I going to say that? So maybe you have a business that, goes crazy that you didn't expect. Maybe you get a raise, maybe you get a promotion.
Big
so
bonus.
if you're like Louis, the wisdom would come into play that if you randomly have a hit, to go slow and be wise with that extra cash, right? If you have debt, pay it off. If you don't have money saved, build that emergency fund.
Yes.
Pay down your mortgage, save for your kids' college. Like there's smart things to do with that money. You can enjoy some of it, but especially if you have debt and no savings, take that raise or that influx of cash and be wise with it. So Louis, hope you're listening because I know you made some dollars last year.
That's true. And most of the time when people have an influx of cash, we get calls as we take them on the Ramsey show. People call in with their financial questions and they get an inheritance. A family member passed away. I now have $200,000, $500,000 left to me. What do
or
I do?
$30,000.
So regardless,
you went big, George.
the ones I get, Rachel, the calls that I get, they save the big ones for me. But the advice is usually this. Number 1, wait. Just pause. Breathe. Don't make any big financial decisions, maybe for a few months, as you kind of settle into what this means. Number 2, get a team around you of like a tax pro, a real estate pro, an investing pro, an insurance pro, because you now need to protect this wealth that has just been generated. And so you have to be very, very intentional, especially because like family members, when they find out, they're coming out of the woodwork going, well, I need a piece of that. That's mine now. We've all been there, Rachel. We've all been
You speak
there.
there from experience,
Uncle
George.
Larry is like, where's my
He's
share?
like, what?
That's never happened to
So
me.
just be wise. Wise if you get the influx. Okay.
And spend some. That's okay to spend some.
Enjoy it. Enjoy a little bit of it. All right, number 3, Kanye West's meltdown. It cost him his billionaire status, George.
That's gotta wait.
Kanye
Yep.
going as yay.
So
now.
I think if you listen to this podcast, you've probably heard some news about what's been going on, but he made some very, very inflammatory, controversial statements, and he ended up getting dropped by pretty much every brand he works with, which ended up causing him to lose billions of dollars.
Yep. I mean, his
that
music
fair to
is
say?
off Apple Music, The Gap, Adidas. I mean, all these people, they pulled all of his endorsements, and even TJ Maxx pulled his products from the shelves.
No longer Maxinista status.
I know. So it's it's tough. So apparently he says, and I quote, "I lost $2 billion in one day and I'm still alive. This is love speech. I
Okay.
still love you. God still loves you. The money is not who I am. The people is who I am." So Kanye it was all over the news for many reasons. So, there's a lot of things we could say about this, George, but you and I are money
There is
experts.
a lot.
We're going to run down the money lane. So the money aspect of this being Kanye lost, his
Let's
billion
look
dollar
at it from
status.
this angle. If you have an unexpected reduction in income, what do you do?
That's a good way of
Obviously, they're not going to be for the same reasons as Kanye. But
hope not.
a lot of people have, for example, a job loss.
Yeah.
And so one person loses a job and there goes $50,000 a year that
or
they had coming
a
in.
medical expense that comes up and now it's an ongoing monthly thing, right?
Yes.
So yes, these things pop up that take away from your income. So number one, budget. Budget. You guys, if you are not on a written plan, this is going to help you. And especially, if it's something permanent like a job loss for a season until you supplement that income, create a new budget and say, hey, here's the money we have. How do we keep our food, our shelter, our utilities, our transportation intact and be wise? So budget is big, focusing on those four walls, and then you may have to cut expenses
Yes.
for the time being.
And this one can hurt because you've got to be ruthless here and bare bones, no more subscriptions, no eating out. You might even have to pick up a side job. It doesn't have to be your dream job. You just need any income you can find until life gets back to normal. And so
That's right.
there's a lot of sacrifices that have to be made in that season.
Love it. All right, next up. I'm ready for this because this was on the Kardashian. So I watched every
gosh.
aspect of this. Kim K wore the Marilyn Monroe dress at the Met Gala. So Kim, again, it's the dress that when she sang "Happy Birthday, Mr. President" to JFK, she wore that. So it was a sheer beaded illusion gown, again, that she wore in 1962 to sing to JFK. And Marilyn commissioned that dress for about $1,400 at the time. And in 2016, it was auctioned off to Ripley's, believe it or not, for $4.8 million.
Wow.
It was almost a $5 million dress that she wore at the Met Gala. And you would know this if you watched the Kardashians. She only wore it on the red carpet. So she only wore it for a total of 12 minutes and then changed into a replica of
Smart.
it. So here's the allegations, though, is that she ruined the dress. And so there was a bunch of pictures of the seams, were ripped. They were missing rhinestones. But the owners of Ripley said that she did not damage it. And again, she only wore it a few minutes and they said it was fine. But man, could you imagine?
I feel like I trust Ripley's. I don't know why, but I feel like why would they why would they lie about that?
Yeah, no, she
If
may
she
not
did
have.
damage it.
But she wore a $5 million dress.
Yeah.
Could you
Well,
imagine?
the most shocking part of this whole story is that Ripley's, believe it or not, has $5 million to spend on a dress. I mean, I haven't been to one of those since I was 7 years old.
I know we should do a tour around
They're
America.
in every major city, but I guess that's a hot commodity
to
for
all
them to
the
own.
Ripleys, believe it or not. So that was a big event in 2022.
All right, number 5, Inventing Anna, or Anna.
Anna, I'm gonna
on
say
Netflix, which is a mostly true story, except for the parts that aren't, of course, because it's Netflix, You got to dramatize some stuff. So Anna Delvey was an alleged German heiress accused of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from financial institutions and her friends in hopes of launching a members-only club in New York City. But the truth, her name was actually Anna Sorokin. And she was actually a Russian-born, German-raised scam queen who somehow fooled New York's super rich and powerful out of $275,000.
I know. So did you watch it?
I watched a few episodes.
Okay, I watched the whole thing. I know
Wow.
you're shocked. I love a good story like
Then can
this.
I ask you one question?
Yeah.
What's you wearing?
What do
look
you-
tall. I knew that would get you.
What are you wearing?
So if you don't know why I just talk like that, that is how she talks as her scam queen persona.
So
And that's part of the humor of it, if there is any in that series. It's just the way she talks is so strange.
it's so funny. So
What's you wearing?
what are you wearing? You look poor. 196 million hours was watched in a single week of this show. So it was a huge,
Wow.
huge
Only
hit.
slightly less than the Rachel Cruze show. So
That's
I'm
right.
sure you just beat her.
small less.
Just barely.
So after Inventing Anna, or Anna, the most watched English language show that week, guess what? It was Love is Blind Season 2. We are on trend,
I
George.
think Rachel was inflating these numbers because she was the one watching these.
Okay, so it's a fascinating story that she went in and absolutely scammed all these people, all these hotels and businesses. I mean, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, in real life, she was convicted on 8 charges of larceny and theft. And here's the crazy part. Netflix paid her $320,000 for her story, reportedly. It's pretty wild.
I kind of think she could have gotten more.
Maybe. But honestly, if someone's like, we want to pay you just to use your story, I'd be like, okay. And she needed the money because she used that money allegedly to pay $199,000 in restitution, $24,000 in state fines, and $75,000 in attorney fees.
Oh, wow.
Homegirl was on the struggle bus.
Yeah, she was. I know. So since being released from prison, she was picked up by U.S. Immigration and Customs shortly after. Oh, my gosh.
Oh.
Fascinating. So 2022, that was a big part of it. Another huge event, which I watched.
Huge.
I watched was Depp versus Heard. Johnny Depp, Amber Heard. How much of the trial did you watch, George?
More than I've watched any other trial in human history.
Oh, yeah?
I would watch like the TikTok recap videos. I wasn't
Yep.
like watching it live on Facebook like
Yep.
you were.
Okay, so what happened? Well, in the summer, spring and summers, when everything went down, and technically it was a defamation trial over an op-ed that Amber Heard wrote for the Washington Post. So
That was kind of clearly about Johnny.
Yep. So she kind of like alleged, that he abused her, all of this. And because of that, he lost all these jobs, right? People would not hire him.
No one wants to be associated with Johnny at that point.
Yes, that's right. So he countered and said that actually Heard abused him. And they went on suing each other, and he sought $50 million in damages. She sought $100 million. Anyways, it was a back and forth
This
trial.
is like a reverse Uno card just kept getting played. And they're like,
know.
oh yeah? Well, I sue you for $150 million.
But it was crazy. I mean, they interviewed, family, friends, people on set of
Oh
the
my
movies.
gosh.
I mean, all of it. And it was, oh my gosh, it was wild.
But the ending was even crazier.
Yep. So Depp was awarded more than $10 million in damages. So the court decided that Amber's allegations of abuse were false, but she was awarded $2 million. So I guess he came out $8 million ahead, if I did the math
Sure.
correctly.
That's good math. Very impressive. And the court held Depp liable for comments made about Amber by his attorney. So that was kind of part of the deal. A little quid pro quo, if you will, Rachel.
There you go.
So since then, Depp has started trying to work and do appearances again, testing the waters of public opinion. He had a cameo in Rihanna's Savage Fenty fashion show. And we'll see if he's in a new Pirates movie. That could be
I
on
would
the
love
horizon.
to see that. I would love to see that.
I thought he said he never wanted to do anything with Disney again.
I've heard there may
Oh,
be.
because he was mad at them.
I've heard there could be. It could still be happening.
We'll see what happens. So that was a big old part of 2022
But
in my time.
Amber has now appealed to a court for a new defamation trial. So what do you think, Rachel? Are we going to see another part 2?
No, the judge will drop it. I think it's done. I think it's done.
I was hoping for like an Usher part 2. These are my confessions level. Some drama, some juice.
That would be good. But
That's a lot of money.
Yep. And that was a big part of 2022.
Try not to get sued, I think, is the teaching here. It's just messy.
Yeah, don't lie either.
And if you're going to be in like court, like live streaming it, that's a lot of pressure.
I wonder who decides that when you have trials. I wonder what that protocol is, but it's pretty wild. All right, number 7. Elon Musk buys Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
This was a big one, George.
Everyone has heard about Elon at this point, which if you're a Tesla lover, you've known about Elon for a long time. But his acquisition of Twitter last year was just bananas, the whole story. He made his first official offer on April 14th. The deal finally concluded on October 27th, and it was a $44 billion deal. That number just feels like a lot of numbers.
And I wonder how much he's worth. Do we know his net worth?
Elon is worth about $195 billion, which dropped 100. So he was at about $300 billion.
Why'd it drop?
Don't feel bad.
Why'd he drop?
I think just all of the drama, maybe. I mean, it was very dramatic.
Around Twitter, I guess
Yeah,
so.
I don't know. Tesla, who knows? I mean, how do you lose $100 billion? Where did that go in the couch cushions?
where does
in the couch Couch cushions.
I got you.
Couch cushions.
Couch cushions. So why did he buy it? Why did he buy Twitter? Well, he tweeted, "The reason I acquired Twitter is because it is important to the future of civilization to have a common digital town square where a wide range of beliefs can be debated in a healthy manner without resorting to violence."
Ooh.
He's bringing peace, George.
Is that what it is? I don't know. I want to root for him, but I just don't know. I don't know the man's motives.
Oh, really? I like Elon.
I like that he's kind of like a ragamuffin, go against the grain.
That's
but
what I like about him. He's like, I'm going to go build Tesla in Texas and like
yeah, there's pieces of
California.
that
He's
I
like,
really like.
and he's like, I'm going to put stuff in space. I'm like, why would you not like him? It's
Yeah, I love that
fascinating.
he's not afraid to just like, break things and just crush the status quo and go like, nah, it doesn't need to be like that.
Yeah.
We can put internet in space at any time. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, Elon. It was a big deal though, buying Twitter.
And a part of this is the $44 billion deal. He got loans from banks of $13 billion.
Oh, he did.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
And so think about the interest rate, no matter what it is, because 1% interest on $13 billion is $130 million a year.
Oh,
Like
dang.
that just hurts my brain to think about.
Yeah, for sure.
And I guess a guy worth $200 billion can afford the interest on that.
I guess he can,
But
but
going into debt for a business, and we've seen this because we help business owners and leaders. When you go into debt for business, it changes the game in a bad way.
Yeah.
You become more desperate. You make decisions differently. So not a fan of the fact that he took out $13 billion in debt to do this deal.
Gosh, Elon, come on, just get your 44 bill in cash.
You got the money.
You know?
That's
man.
chump change for this guy.
All right, number 8, Wordle. Never played it, George.
What?
No,
I'm playing it right now.
no.
I'm playing it as we speak. How have you never played Wordle?
I never have.
I think you should do it for the first time live on this podcast.
So it's like crossword. It's like crossword puzzles, right?
Yeah,
Words
it's,
with friends. I've done words with friends.
Well,
Oh no, this is from the newspaper.
yes, this is the
Yeah.
one where it's a 5-letter word, and you have to guess what the word is, and the color of the tiles change as you get closer. And so, if you get a correct letter, it lights up green. If the letter is correct but not in the right place, it's yellow. So that gives you clues. But the key is you only have a few chances to get it right. I think up to 5. Up to 5 chances.
I would be terrible at it. I'd be terrible. Did you have to pay for it?
No, it's totally free.
Okay.
Guess a word.
Okay, hold on.
But love the energy.
Do could.
Could. Okay. So if I enter could, you got one letter correct, and it's the O, and it's in the right spot.
Oh, perfect.
So you're good. You got a green on that.
Okay.
So you continue down and go, okay, the second letter is O.
Okay.
What other word could it be that doesn't have C-U-L-D in it? And so it's a fun little brain teaser, Rachel, that only nerds like me play.
No, I appreciate it. I heard of humans playing it throughout the year.
But this
I
was
just
a
never
huge
have.
trend. Like, I feel like everyone was playing this.
No, they were. They really were. I was
Like
seeing it
on
all
their
over
lunch break,
Instagram and all
I
this.
saw all of the Ramsey team members just wordling hard.
And is it the same word every day? So everyone.
Yes.
Now that's
and so there's
fun.
kind of a like, what? Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I
Yeah,
haven't done it
that's
yet.
fun.
Spoiler alert.
Man, I should have gotten in on it.
Yeah.
If I could
It's
go
not-
back in time, George, I'd
It's
go
not
back
too late, but you're a little behind on
behind
the
the
trend.
trend.
Or do you bring it back for 2023?
Maybe we should.
Well, there's a crazy element here because Josh Wordle, with an A instead of an O, he's the creator of this game, and he sold it to the New York Times for an undisclosed 7-figure price tag.
Man, good for him.
That's pretty amazing.
2022 was great for old Josh.
It just goes to show you never know what could take off.
Never know
if
what
you've
an
got
idea will bring you.
go for it.
Yep. Future is yours.
What's your idea? What's your 7-figure idea that is you're just hiding right now?
pet ramps?
Pet ramps. Big fan.
Number 9, the Queen's death. May she
R.I.P..
rest in peace.
Rest in
we did
power.
a whole episode on the
royal
royals
family.
during this
Go
time.
back and listen. It was a hot one.
But she was wonderful. And Queen Elizabeth II died on September 8th of 2022. She ruled for over 70 years and 214 days. It's a
That's
long time.
quite the run.
She went far.
I mean, if you do anything for 70 years, you're definitely crushing the game.
Absolutely.
So we've talked about this fun fact before, but it bears repeating. Her personal will won't be made public until the year 2112.
We
So
will not
90
be there,
years.
George.
It is sealed and locked in a safe Yeah, will we not be around?
No, we won't be around. Our
90
kids
years
will.
from now. Oh, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, and that
Little Amelia is going to have to report back in heaven to what's going on in the Queen's
going on
will.
with Queen. I'll talk to the Queen when I get to heaven. I think she'll be there.
Well, I guess the reasoning behind it, they say, is to protect the dignity of the sovereign. I'm going to request that as well, that my will be sealed for 90 years to protect my dignity. My family will have no idea.
Oh my gosh. So,
But props to the Queen for having
she had a will, you guys, and well done, because 67% of Americans have no estate plan.
You know what other royalty didn't have a will? Prince. There's a fun fact for you.
That is true. He didn't.
Prince died without a will.
Will, I heard that.
The artist formerly known as.
Well,
Prince.
Yes. Good job to bring back
Not
all
the
of it.
actual Prince.
Yep.
Let me make that very clear.
So you guys get a will. That's the simple teaching here.
That had the energy of get a life. Get a will.
Get a will. Get a will. So according to Fortune, she left behind $500 million in personal assets. So
Wow.
I think they're
I
doing
aspire
fine.
to leave that to
Old
my
Charles,
children.
Old Charlie, he's doing great. Doing great.
Wow.
All right, last but not least.
Renaissance. Renaissance by Beyonce drops. Speaking of queens, a different kind of queen. And
Queen Bee.
we can't let 2022 get by us without Queen Bee having her moment. And I personally, I don't listen to a lot of Beyonce, but my wife had this album on repeat, and she said, quote, "It is fire."
It is fire.
It is.
So, yeah, whether you love Beyonce or not, her influence, you guys, it's everywhere. And she dropped Renaissance, the album, in July of 2022 and debuted at number 1 on the Billboard's Top 200. And it makes her net worth alone over $500 million. And combine her net worth with Jay-Z
At $1 billion.
over $1 billion. That's right, George.
That's a power couple right there.
power couple
That's
definition.
that's got Winston Cruze, Rachel Cruze vibes.
Oh, I was about to say the camels.
Yes, no,
right there.
Not quite. But 2022 marked the year that Beyonce has been dominating the music game for close to 25 years. Let that sink in. That's impressive to hold your influence that long, because a lot of artists have come and gone.
Yeah,
You know?
the downward spiral happens. But she went from Destiny's Child
Where's the rest of Destiny's Child?
to where she is. Kelly Rowland, I think, has done great. And Michelle, I've seen them around. Not as, I mean, Queen Bee is taking the cake. I mean,
She's the queen.
She's done a great job. So,
So if you were Beyonce, what would you do in 2023? What would be your next move?
oh my gosh, if I had $500 million, I think I may
Just chill for a while?
chill on a yacht for a little
Yeah.
bit, for a month, 30 days. Just take me somewhere for 30 days. Let me unplug. Then I get back in the game.
World tour?
Sure.
Music video? I'd probably direct a movie for fun, even if it's terrible.
Yeah, be a director. Yeah.
I feel like that's the move. Once you've made it, you're like, I'm just going to direct.
That's what I'm going to do. That feels
Or
right.
have a perfume.
Have a perfume,
Or a makeup line.
launch some more merch.
Yeah, I think all of that. I think she has people to do that too.
Oh,
So, you
you're
know,
right.
you
You're
delegate. That's another great thing. You know,
That's
when you
a
make
very
when you
Beyonce
make up
thing.
when you make that much money, you delegate. And all of you out there, hey, delegate.
You got way too excited.
Oh, George,
Okay,
2022 was a big year.
Huge.
A lot of
How
stuff
are we going
happened.
to top it this year?
I don't know.
What are you hoping happens this year? Any predictions?
Ooh.
Ooh, Rachel the
I
trend
hope
predictor.
Jennifer and Brad get back together.
Okay, that's a very sweet, innocent.
I would take them back. Yeah, on a pop culture sense.
Yeah.
I would have that.
Oh, you know what's a big one that is coming true for me?
What?
Blink 182
It's coming
has come back. Tom DeLonge has
Oh my
rejoined,
gosh.
and I'm going to the show.
Makes it. You are.
It's the most I've spent on a concert ticket.
You know what? We talked about this in another episode. I
We did.
remember you saying that. Yes, yes.
Almost
Good for you.
$300 for a ticket. I'm like, this better be worth it.
But Blink. Oh man, well done, George.
And I'm going with Dr. John Deloney, our friend. So,
You two are going together.
yes, not as a couple, but like we have a group. It'll be a good
Please
time.
take video. I need to see.
So another trend prediction that I'm just hoping personally and selfishly is for skinny jeans to come back.
Oh my gosh.
Because that's the only thing I own, and I don't look normal in normal people jeans.
Here's what I predict. I want inflation to go down and the market to go up.
Love
I'm going
that
to just
energy.
speak truth.
Manifest.
I'm going to
it.
speak truth into the world.
Wow.
Words are powerful. The tongue can make or break nations. So I'm going to
The
just
other
say it out
trend
loud.
prediction: Smart Money Happy Hour goes full video.
Ooh, do you think it's going to happen?
I think it's going to happen.
I think it will too.
Manifesting it while producer Lindsay is
so
listening.
fun. All right, George, what a year. So make sure to DM us with your predictions, you guys, at Rachel Cruze, at George Kamel with a K, and we'll read them maybe in a future episode and see if your future predictions
Maybe. I make
happen.
no promises.
All right, so it's almost the end of the episode, and we close out every episode with Guilty as Charged. And this is where our producer gives us a new Guilty as Charged question, and we have to drink if we have and give context behind our answer.
Ooh, context.
Ooh, juicy.
Let us know what it is, Lindsay.
Have you ever looked up how much a friend's house cost or how much they paid for it?
1,000%.
Yes, I have to.
I think I did it while we were recording this episode. I do it every day. No,
Okay, take a sip because I am too guilty.
I'm going to finish this thing. Wow.
Okay, not to throw my husband under the bus, but it was Winston. We were pulling up to a small group.
Well, he's in the real estate game.
I know, and I was like,
He lives and
man,
breathes
I wonder
it.
how much these. Yeah, he's like, I can look it up. I was like, what? What kind of superpower do you have? And we did right there, and you can
It's
see.
easily Googleable.
It's to the public.
Oh, I know. I just didn't do that back in 2013. Maybe you crazies did, but I didn't. Wow. So I didn't know that was a thing back then. And now, yeah, it's everywhere. You can see it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I have done it multiple times. Generally, it's not out of like a negative. It's just like a curious thing.
Yeah.
It's almost like I'm just interested in the housing market. I want to know like what people are, how much they're paying for homes these days. And you're kind of like, wow, like they could afford that. Like there's a little bit of that element.
Yes.
Like I didn't know they could afford that. And you don't know how much they put down.
Sure.
It's just fun to see like what the purchase price was.
Absolutely.
And it shows you the sale price and then what the actual sold price was.
Oh,
so the original price versus like, did they haggle? Did they get a deal on it?
They get a deal. So guilty.
Absolutely. If you haven't done this, you're not
I
living.
think everyone has.
You're not living.
Fun fact, go Google your own address today, listeners, and see what kind of stuff pops up on the internet.
That's right. The internet. Because everything's true on the internet.
Everything.
Everything you read. Truth. Right there in front of your eyes.
Okay, if you've got a guilty as charged question, we want to hear it. We might use it in an upcoming episode. Label it guilty as charged and DM us on Instagram at Rachel Cruze and at George Kamel with a K. And we might answer it in a future episode.
Yep. All right. Who finished their drink first?
I did.
You did. Well, you
I'm the
spilled
winner.
some of it at the beginning,
Well, that's
but
true.
I'm gonna
But
say
it
you
was
did.
delicious.
It was really
good.
good.
Tart, sour, refreshing.
I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. Honestly, I have to be in a specific mood to drink it though. But I like it.
It feels very beachy.
Yes, but it's not a strawberry daiquiri. So when you say beachy though, it makes me go to like
I
sugar.
wouldn't label
It wasn't
as fruity.
sugary.
It was
Not fruity.
Sweet and sour in the best ways.
Yep.
So if you like that, go make yourself a daiquiri. Costs about $2.45. It has light rum, Demerara sugar syrup, and fresh squeezed limes. Please, fresh squeeze your limes. Be an adult. There you go.
So you can find the recipe in the show notes and give it a try. All right, George, it's closing time.
Boo.
So if you liked this and you don't want to miss a future episode, make sure to follow us on social and click the follow button to subscribe to this podcast.
And if you've been enjoying an adult beverage with us, hopefully it's kicked in and we can convince you to go leave this podcast a 5-star review. Rachel needs the validation.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, thanks for reminiscing the past year.
I had a great time.
That
I'm
was
looking
a
forward
great
to the year
episode.
ahead.
I know. I am too. Here's to 2023. We're
For
looking
more
ahead.
Great pop culture moments.
Be great. And I'm excited about next Thursday for an all new episode of
Smart Money Happy Hour.